it, or do you think he was just a stern asshole? Do you think he had like deep down he was like, well?
Okay. So you get the point.
Wait, how is that me flirting with fascism? Hold on now.
You say that Hitler's a fascist.
Yes.
In satire and comedy, I have absolutely no idea why somebody has to do something like that.
Satire, the use of humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices, particularly in the context of contemporary politics and other topical issues.
I mean, I see Defnoodles do that a lot, but I will personally
dream that you can only
like let Charlie D'Amelio vape in all caps, you know? Immediately know, you know, then you're memeing. It's trying to find. I don't think like. Also, if you want to go parody, you really can't.
He didn't share any sexual images, which isn't a crime. Wait, it is? Uh-oh.
Is sexting illegal? It is important to know that while sexting between consenting adults is not illegal, sending or receiving a sexually suggestive text or image to or from a person under the age of 18 is considered exploitation or child and can result in criminal charges.
Seems like both in England and in Pennsylvania, where Pyro and his underage friend are respectively located, they're not really looking to prosecute people who are not exchanging images, but only having explicit conversations, even though...
Alright, everything is in order, and it's time to get the bombs and everything ready. It's time to finally nuke Brazil. In the time I've been gone, only now, finally uploading after about a month or two, some of you guys may have been wondering where I've actually been. And to that I say, well, 1, what the fuck is wrong with you, because you shouldn't be caring. I'm not that important. And 2, I pray to God you don't follow me on Twitter, because then all your questions will be answered. See, I'm sure you guys have known, I've been just doing some nice little research. Yeah. But now that I'm finally off on my break from jacking off, you know, the usual business, it's what I like to do, you know me. I can finally get to do what I was always meant to do. To bully, to get a point across, and to make fun of the one, the only true Brazilian in this whole entire world, Defnoodles. Now some of you guys may be completely unaware of who this guy Defnoodle is, to which I don't blame you. Despite having nearly 500,000 subscribers, he actually wasn't really all that well known until my side of commentary, until he came into his, you know, most recent dramas that we'll get into. But if you guys want to understand this Defnoodles guy, I'll give you a quick rundown of his YouTube description. What's up? My name is Dennis Feitosa, and Defnoodles is a show I created. It's a mix between The Soup and The Virgin Liberal, a satirical take on internet news and commentary hosted by a faggot in a Minecraft house. Thank you so much for subbing, and make sure to send me all video recommendations to dennis@gowithdennis.com. Alright, a rather simple description for a loser if I do say so myself, but hold up a second, there is sadly more. Disclaimer: Defnoodles is a character created by Dennis Feitosa, meant to satirize most of the deranged, toxic, and destructive aspects of internet culture. Defnoodles borrows from Twitter outrage, modern day commentary cynicism, excessive clickbait, trolling, buzzword hacking, cancel culture, and outright pandering to righteous indignation to reflect on the realities of contemporary social media interactions and media coverage. The opinions and thoughts expressed by Defnoodles are not a reflection of Dennis Feitosa's belief. The disclaimer applies to all Defnoodles social media platforms. Wait, all of them, you say? Ooh, how interesting. Anyways, now that you guys actually know who this Defnoodles character is, it's time we go over all the drama that's been happening with him. And don't you guys worry, I bookmarked every single tweet. Ladies and gentlemen, we fucking got him. Now before I actually begin to regurgitate all of my semen into this Blue Yeti microphone I have here, I think it's actually rather important that I take a nice little stroll through Defnoodles' content so we can understand what type of person we're dealing with here. You see, Defnoodles claims that his videos are similar to that satirizing certain internet subjects, similar to that of The Soup as well as the Stephen Colbert report. However though, in some of his videos, usually with the more important subjects, I actually think that that line between satire as well as his actual personality do begin to blur, and I think that seems to be the general consensus and popular opinion regarding those sorts of videos. But other than those videos themselves, which I'll get more into depth later, I actually do think that his content is rather harmless. It's really unfunny, but I never found it downright offensive, just extremely annoying. He seems to have that nice little LA YouTuber style, but he has a lot of that loud equals funny humor that seems to prioritize around fetus feeding channels these days. But nothing awful, if you ask me. However though, I will say this. He actually used to make videos in the vein of Fainted, where he would read posts from different social media websites. However though, these videos stopped when Kavos made a little quick stream where they would compare big dicks, to which they actually realized Kavos had the bigger dick, causing Defnoodles to go on a little video and cry about how small his dick was compared to Kavos. Very sad indeed. And trust me, that video was very bad. Hey, word of advice to literally anyone. When someone criticizes you, especially on a stream where literally no one could see it, don't make a video where you bitch and moan and dick around about it. That's just showing that you probably can't handle what's happening. Even if you are emotionally stung by it, you are leaving yourself extremely vulnerable to more attacks and criticism in the future. You dumb ass dicking dick. Come on, Defnoodles, what the fuck were you thinking? What are you doing? Do you know what you're doing here, Defnoodles? The people who look up to you, the people who watch your videos, and the people who see you as the biggest Brazilian on YouTube are gonna feel disappointed when you are put down by some man's big English balls. Never mind, actually. Keep doing what you're doing. Your fan base is kind of retarded, actually. The very short-lived drama between both Defnoodles and Johnswan here would only last for a very short period of time. This happened around 4 months ago when Defnoodles made a very awful tweet regarding how Charlie D'Amelio was caught smoking and vaping. Now under normal circumstances I would of course show you. However, the tweet has actually since been deleted since it broke Twitter's rules apparently. Not sure which rules it broke. However though, if you are one of those people who possibly reported it, fuck you, you have made this video so much harder. I hate my life because of this. Anyways, regarding the actual drama now. Now Defnoodles will later out onto more of this tweet saying how he was DMing Charlie D'Amelio's parents to get a statement on how their 17-year-old daughter was vaping. A little strange, of course, and of course this was met with backlash from a lot of the commentary community, including, but not limited to, Nicholas D'Orio, Hoggy RFC, and our main component here, Johnswan, who would later take him onto a stream to discuss things. But remember guys, I want you guys to remember this very well. It's all just satire, okay? It's all just satire.
So allegedly assaulted 2 kids.
Serious at the beginning.
Yeah,
sense.
that's not. Let's do that.
Even just started off by playing real news or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
breaking. I actually wanted to get people's thoughts about that. So
you actually wanted to get people's thoughts. Okay, well,
yeah,
that's fair.
That's what we're here, man.
See, that's
we're not the kill stream. No one's shitting on anybody.
Yeah,
it's not
I think,
after hours.
Yeah, I think it's if you want to get people's thoughts, that's perfectly fine. But I think if you're gonna run with the joke, then it comes off a little bit strange if you do it like on a serious thing. So maybe you should change that. Like, what do you guys think? Or change it up a little bit if you want to get like to make sure it's like a different thing to ensure that it's not 100% fine. But yeah, you gotta sell that character then if that's what you're going to be doing for everything. Because I think that the new stuff that you'd be doing is clearly like satire.
Alright bro, that's really great and all. And while I would love to sit here and decide for each and every single point taken from this live stream, it actually appears that the live stream has a longer length than the size of my penis, meaning I won't actually be able to show you all of it. However though, I will put everything in a nutshell so you edgelords at home can understand along with me. Oh, Defnoodles, you gotta do your satire better, bro. You can't just be like this all the time. There's only so much satire you can do before it stops being funny. You didn't do the funny. However, though, we'll let you off easy this time because your audience just didn't understand your character. Make sure next time you go all the way through with the joke. You understand me, Mr. Noddles? You fucking understand me? Yeah. Anyways, Mr. Noddles, no one really hates you just yet. You just made the unfunny, and we now understand you are using your satire. Just put a nice little trigger warning to decipher what's fucking serious and what fucking isn't serious. You dumb fuck. So a YouTuber by the name of Grady Hooper made a multi-layered, intricate analysis as to why Defnoodles is a bad YouTuber. It was a pretty good video if I do say so myself.
Defnoodles is the newest star drama channel on YouTube, but he's extremely sensitive for a critic. He's unfunny, he's cringy, toxic, and
Anyways, what was Defnoodles' idea to respond to this with him being the Brazilian Keemstar we've all known to grow in love with? Well, he made a very condescending video and a very condescending tweet saying, this genius tells the world he's madly in love with me. Jesus, Defnoodles, I thought what we had going for us was special, man. I don't know why you had to do me like that. I do actually recommend you do check out Grady Hooper's video because it has a lot of the criticism I would be giving Defnoodles if that video wasn't already made. However, though, I do have some new criticism I would like to dish out here, considering it seems like a good idea to me since this is supposed to be an opinion piece on him. So go check out Grady Hooper. It was a good video. Anyways, back to the actual drama at hand. Of course, doing something like this, making the video and making the tweet would of course round up every single commentary community in society to round up against him and, you know, show him how much of a dumbass he is, which he definitely is, no doubt. Breaking news that'll most definitely change your life. Retweeting a video critical of me to my audience is the new can't take criticism move. Yes, Defnoodles, you can't take criticism. You are fucking emotional towards it. It's hilarious to me. You claim it's all just one big joke, one big satire phrase, but you can't make a nice little thread all about how people are mean to you because you did something really, really stupid, and you can't go on your other personal account and just say, oh, you know, I'm learning each and every step of the way. Defnoodles is just a character of satire. You can't use that excuse for so long, Defnoodles. It's all gonna blow up into your face one day. You can't just say, oh, it's all satire. Ricegum did it, Leafy did it, Onision did it, but that's not gonna fucking work, okay? Defnoodles, my issue here with you isn't that you can't particularly take criticism. I feel like you can, but you do it in such an emotional way that it just looks like you can't. So you have to wonder why anyone would take you seriously if you're gonna act this way. Also, you may have noticed he said he's Brazilian in that thread. Yeah, he kind of tried to pull a race card a little bit. Not exactly the race card, but sort of the race card. Oh yeah, and he also called them fascists. I'll get much more into that one. I pray to God we're almost fucking done here. I want to go to fucking bed. Okay, Defnoodles versus Augie RFC. Go! Now this drama would all come to a head when Defnoodles would make a nice little Twitter post regarding the recent shutdown of the app Parler and how people were saying it was a suppression of speech, which it was. And you know what? If he wants to mock these people, if he wants to criticize them or make jokes about them in any way possible, go ahead. It's shitty pieces of criticism, but you know what? Criticism nonetheless. Just understand that people are gonna fuck you back for it. However, though, Defnoodles' actions will get marginally worse from here, going through that whole entire Twitter meltdown night that he had. Anyways, Defnoodles will make a thread giving out his commentary on something that Augie RFC said earlier that night on Nicholas Durio's stream.
Guys, real quick, nobody owns the Defnoodles hat. Somebody make a Defnoodles app, tweet horrible shit on there, then post some replies to his tweet, and see if his retard
You can't,
fans
dude. The
believe
website's
it.
down. You gotta get a gap, dude.
No, I have it open right now.
Okay.
All right. Somebody make a horrible account of Defnoodles.
Yeah, so
Now, do I actually agree with what Augie's doing here? No, of course not. It's a pretty asshole thing to do, and I do disavow it to a certain extent. However, though, it's also not really that much of a serious big issue. I think any normal person with 2 functioning brain cells will be able to tell, oh, that's clearly not Defnoodles. It's a fake account. It's definitely not worth fucking legal action over. Jesus fucking Christ, Defnoodles, chill the fuck out. You are a 500,000 sub YouTube channel with a fucking fake account on Parler, okay? It's not that big of a deal. What lawyer is gonna get pissy-wissy over their client over the fact that they have a fucking fake Parler account that someone made? Jesus Christ, man. Anyways, take it from the guy who's still waiting for the day Madame gives him a shot at her pussy. Suing over internet shit almost never fucking works. Defnoodles had also misinterpreted Nicholas Durio's original involvement in the situation, which was pretty much just disavowing everything that Augie and Boblax were doing and the chat as well during that stream, which, while may not be important on the nose as we're thinking about it, it did cause Defnoodles to actually delete the thread. How nice. And fix a mistake, of course. However, though, this would actually all boil down into a nice little debate that Defnoodles and Augie RFC had, which was both an extreme pain and a lovely pleasure to view. I would absolutely go through each and every point here. However, though, that debate was 3 hours long, so I'll go through the parts that I think are most need of critique.
Right, that your little multi-character like dimension thing is just an excuse or whatever. Because here you admit to the fact that there are truths in this statement. You're simply using hyperbole to, I guess, make a jackass out of yourself. Like, who would actually believe that?
of course. So it comes from truth because all of comedy comes from truth. In fact, one of my favorite comedy books, and anybody who's watching this, if you want to learn more about comedy, I highly recommend it. It's a book called Truth and Comedy. And even
The biggest issue here isn't that Augie and Defnoodles aren't really on the same wavelength. It's more that Defnoodles has never had a debate in his life, and you can definitely tell that.
flirting. Okay, when you flirt with someone, does that mean that you're immediately dating them?
No, you're just kind of, testing the waters a little bit. You're kind of, getting into it or whatever. So I'm not a fascist, but I'm just kind of, I'm slipping into it, I guess. That's
not even slipping into it. You're like playing around with it for edginess. That's what that means.
It's a very sneaky way to say it, but yeah, I mean, I guess so.
That's the whole thing. That's the
So what fascist ideas do I sneak around with or whatever? Okay.
For the conversation, I like to be informed. So let's look at let's define fascism first, right? What's fascism? So it's a governmental system led by a dictator having complete force, forcibly suppressing opposition and criticism, regimenting all industry, commerce, etc., and emphasizing an aggressive nationalism and often racism. So the philosophy, principles, and methods of fascism, the political movement that employs blah, 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 Mussolini,
All right, so
I think I know this clip. Please let this be the clip I'm thinking of.
Humor do you think Hitler had in real life? Do you think he was like
how badly do you want your channel?
No, like, do you think it was a big? Do you think Hitler was like a big memer, dude, or do you think he was just a stern asshole? Do you think he had like deep down he was like, well?
Okay. So you get the point.
Wait, how is that me flirting with fascism? Hold on now.
You say that Hitler's a fascist.
Yes.
Yes, Defnoodles, Hitler was indeed a fascist. Did you know that Hitler was a fascist? However, though, I don't believe making a joke about Hitler really resorts to being a fascist. I mean, you did in fact just read the definition of fascism. Does that mean that I, who makes a lot of jokes about Hitler in his free time, am a fascist? Does that mean I am truly one of those awful Nazis out there in the world? How dare thou? And by the way, I do in fact believe that Hitler was in fact a very big memer. However, though, that was just a joke. Does that make me, in fact, a fascist? Almost every argument and point that Defnoodles makes here against Augie RFC in terms of making bad jokes or just edgy jokes in general really did not work at all actually. It kind of fell pretty flat. Which is actually pretty disappointing when you think about it. Defnoodles is like the comedy genius here on YouTube, the funniest man we have. So funny in fact, he did a stand-up comedy special with 2 losers from Entourage, that show nobody remembers. Anyways, on to the conclusion, I want to go to fucking bed. Anyways, you may be asking yourself, why am I making this video on Defnoodles? Well, for one, everything else in the commentary community is just pedophilia accusations, and I gotta be real with you, that is definitely not the funnest thing in the world to talk about. And 2, I think there's also something extremely important we can learn from Defnoodles here. See, if you are, or anyone you know, aspiring to be a nice YouTube commentator, don't do what Defnoodles does. Defnoodles is the perfect guide in fucking up, and I think it's best that you use him as a guidebook as to not fuck up personally. And Defnoodles, my advice to you, don't be a commentator. You cannot balance your acts between comedian and journalist. They both fuck up exponentially and biblically. It's fucked, man. It's just really bad there. And I guess really, that's how I see Defnoodles. He had a lot of potential, but he fucked it up so awfully, because I can guarantee you right now, Defnoodles in years to come will not be seen as anyone important or anyone to take seriously in time. And also, most importantly, I did promise I would nuke Brazil by the end of this video, so let's get to that.
Final message. Goodbye.
Thank you for making it to the end of this video. Here I am because my old outro got fucked really badly, and thank you for watching this shitty YouTube video. I appreciate you all, and if you have any criticism, please leave so in the comments and tell me why. If you actually enjoyed the video, tell me why in the comments, and, you know, shit and fuck, and all that shit.